Hello, Melody Saul here. I just had some pretty good downloads this morning while I was journaling, and I thought I would share. So, I've been on a journey. Well, we're all on a journey, but um, I've been on a journey of learning how to love and accept myself exactly the way I am. And it's been an interesting journey. So for the first couple of years, I honestly could not say that I loved myself. And now I can say that I love myself. The piece that I am working on right now is learning how to accept myself. And I used to think that I would accept myself when I would accept myself if. And so that's not really accepting yourself, is it? So what's been happening the last couple of years is I have been gaining weight. And I look around and I'm not the only one. You know, there's lots of stuff happening on the planet. And one of the things that we can do to protect ourselves is to become larger physically. And it's a primal thing. Our fight, flight, or freeze response has already predetermined from past experience if we are safer, bigger to fight, or smaller to freeze and hide into the background, or to flee. And so, yay me, my my experiences created the belief that I am safer, bigger. So it doesn't matter what I do or don't do. My primal response is going to stop me from moving. It's going to I'm going to crave foods that are higher in calories. I'm going to feel more tired so that I'm moving less. It's such a deep ingrained belief that it's the pre-programming that's running in the background. And there's been a few things that I've learned over the years that brought me to this understanding. And so when we're doing this work, this healing work, and digging around and mucking up, getting the goopy stuff, the dirty stuff, the ugly stuff from the bottom of the barrel, when we start stirring it way down, then all that shit comes up to be healed, to be cleansed. And you know, coming out of COVID, well, going into COVID, there's lots of fear of the unknown, what's out there. It was just all a bunch of scary stuff. What I've noticed since then is I have started developing fears of my body. So I'll be like, oh my God, what's that? What happened there? And I'll go into these really crazy, deep, instantaneous fears of my body. So that's another thing I'm learning to trust that I'm okay, that my body is this beautiful, incredibly complex healing machine vessel that we are living this life in. And it's beautiful. It might not feel beautiful. It might not look beautiful from old limiting beliefs, but it is. The more I learn about my body, the more fascinated I am. And then learning about like the mind-body connection. And so in Western society, we're a little slow. We're a little slow to to really understand to the deeper degree that Eastern societies have known for centuries, for thousands of years, is that our mind-body connection is absolute. It's just not mainstream here yet. So we're open to the understanding that stress, whatever that is for you, can cause, heart disease or gut issues or muscle tension. Well, I'm learning that it's much greater than that because it is absolute. So whatever energies we're holding on to affect us at a cellular level instantly, and the ones that we are hanging on to are going to actually physically change the molecular makeup of the cells. And so knowing all of those things, believing all of those things, the journey over the last 7 years has been to dig up the emotional shit that I've stored deep down inside for my body's physical healing. And when I first started doing this work, I had a myriad of gut issues, and basically understanding what was underlying, what was happening mentally and emotionally, and what I was holding on to. The work that I did to become aware of what that was, to look at it and to release it, creating new belief systems, healed my guts completely. But whenever I'm in a place of worry, it goes right to my guts instantly. There's no lag time, it's just instant. But I have that understanding now. So getting back to today. Yesterday I was doing a bunch of stuff around the house, but in the morning, I'll start back a little bit more at the beginning. So I'm just about finished an online program with Lee Harris called Rebirth. So it just started in January, February, can't remember. Anyways, and so yesterday I was listening to the last video, and there were things that I wrote down. And this was something that I wrote down yesterday morning. What is in my heart and my body that needs to come to the surface to be acknowledged and released? And I never really thought anything about it, but I wrote it down and I carried on with my day. And as my day progressed, my right leg got more and more sore. So I've been having right hip issues for a while, lots of stiffness, lots of inflexibility, and it's working its way up my back and it's working its way down my leg to my knee. And so yesterday it was getting harder and harder throughout the day to ignore it. It was becoming achy and I couldn't really bend my knee the way I wanted to. And then my other knee was affected because I was kind of limping around and I was hobbling around. And finally, at the end of the day, I thought if I sit down, I'm not going to be able to get back up. So I just kind of kept moving and kept doing it, got supper organized, threw some ibuprofen down my throat, and it helped with the inflammation. So I felt okay. And I got up this morning and I felt okay until I, again, started moving around. So I came down to my office space and I thought, okay, I'm choosing to actually talk to my body because my body's giving me a message and I've been ignoring it, but I'm ready to hear what it has to say. And so my coach, Tracy Furlong of Furlong Wellness, has given me so many tools and techniques when she channels for me, or actually she does this really cool thing where she she connects with the aura and finds and finds out what energy is in my aura that isn't serving me. So it's not even that it's not serving me. It's because it is serving me. It's serving me because it's coming up to be acknowledged, to be released, and to be healed. So that's how she gets the messages for me. And so over the past months, these are the things that I have taped to my journal, because I'm very much a visual. It's going to be backwards for you, but that's what I have. That's what I do for me for reminders. And so these are the 3 things that are on here. What does my heart want me to know about this? How can this be empowering? And ask my guides for help to clear, heal, and clarity. And I'm really good with ignoring things until I can't ignore them anymore. And so I started writing this morning, and I thought I'm gonna tap into those 3 things. And so I'm just gonna read because that's just easier. What does my heart want me to know about my right hip, leg, knee? And so this is the answer. You can't move forward in love while holding on to anger, frustration, resentment, guilt, and shame of the past. You are literally trying to drag it forward into the future, resisting letting it go, clinging to the belief that you aren't worthy of living life without it, the wrongness you were taught. There is versions of you scared shitless to let it go. Because then what? What are you afraid of, Melody? And so this is what came in. That I'm going to get in trouble, that the consequences are going to be bad. That I'm not worthy unless I'm doing it right. So if I'm bigger, fat, I'm wrong and not worthy. If I'm not contributing enough, I'm wrong and I'm not worthy. So then I need to punish myself until I do it right, whatever that right is. So that was pretty big. I mean, my belief system is about having to do it right. There's a right way, and being afraid of doing it wrong. That's come up for a long time, but this is just, it's deeper understanding. It's peeling back more layers of it. So then I asked, how can this experience be empowering? More old layers are coming up to be released and healed. Deeper layers. Releasing more limiting beliefs so I can move forward with more ease. And so this is what I wrote about for the guides. I call my guides for help with seeing clearly what isn't serving me, and for guidance in releasing and letting go in a way that is gentle and at the right pace for me. So that's an affirmation or a prayer or whatever you want to call it for my guides. And I've been learning to ask my guides for help more than just in the morning, throughout the day. And it's a new piece of learning. It's like learning how to read or speak a new language. It's practice, patience, and persistence. And so it's something that I'm learning to do more often in the day, is to ask my guides for help and guidance in whatever it is that I'm feeling stuck with or need help with. And so then the next thing was, I asked my soul what it wants me to know about the energy in my hip and leg. And this is what came in. You are not doing it wrong. You never could, and you never can do it wrong. You asked for help yesterday. What is in my body to be acknowledged and released? And here it is. And so much shame is coming to the surface. It's a horrible, debilitating emotion, but so necessary for contrast. So then I asked, what is the opposite of shame? And I was thinking confidence and like all of these things. I knew the feeling of the emotion, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And then the word came in. Acceptance. Which is what I've been looking for. And so with the goal of learning to accept myself exactly the way I am. In the last, I did a 6-week video series on rewriting the relationship with self, and it was something that I did for me, just an online thing. And basically I didn't know what was going to come up because I was doing it for me, and I thought I'll throw it out there, and whoever else wants to join me, it's right for them. But I didn't do it for anybody else. I did it for me. And the interesting thing that kept coming up every week were memories attached to shame. So much fucking shame. And now I understand why. We are given pieces of contrast for clarity of understanding. So my desire to learn to accept myself allowed the shame to come to the surface so that I could look at it, feel it, and let it go. What I realized was that every time those memories had popped up in the past, I would literally physically go and push them back down. And so over the 6 weeks that I was doing the video series, I allowed whatever emotion to come up to be expressed, because that's what emotion needs to do. Emotion needs expression. It's energy. And so I was storing all of that energy deep down inside, and I was allowing it to come up to be released. So the memories would come, and I would allow myself to feel the shame. I feel shame. And I would do that and just allow myself to feel the shame in my body, the energy of shame in my body, and it would release pretty quickly. But I couldn't believe how much shame I had stored and still am storing. And so yesterday, as I was bebopping around in my day, at one point, I went to the bathroom. What do you do when you wash your hands? There's a mirror right there. And I looked at myself, and I couldn't believe how fat I've gotten and how horrible that felt looking at myself. And I was so disgusted. It was so disgusted. And in that moment, I realized underlying was shame. I was so ashamed of myself. Brené Brown talks about guilt being the action of doing something wrong, and shame being the fundamental belief that we are wrong. We are fundamentally wrong. we as a human being are wrong. Doesn't get more debilitating emotionally. I guess it can. Feeling powerlessness and feeling like a victim, living in the energy of victim is probably lower. I know it's lower, but feeling shame almost takes you to that place of disempowerment. Because if, holy, yep, there's some energy in that. Because if we feel shame, and fundamentally that means we're wrong as a human being. That's pretty powerless. Disempowering, I should say. And so that's my big aha for today. Whew, it was a big one, but I knew that it was meant to share. And so here I am, sharing it. I don't know who this will reach, but I trust that whoever it reaches is exactly who it's meant to reach. And so I'm sending my love out to each and every person watching this video, understanding what it means and connecting. Big love. Have a beautiful rest of your day.